Hello. In this session, I'll guide you through modeling with UModeler X. But first, let's talk about the composition of objects. 3D objects consist of elements called vertices, edges, and faces. When two vertices are connected, they form an edge. And when at least 3 edges converge, they form a face. Faces with 3 points are called triangle, with 4 points are called quad, and with more points are called n-gons or polygons. When multiple faces are connected, they form a single object. 3D modeling involves adding or moving these vertices, edges, and faces to create shapes. While 3D software interprets objects' faces as triangles for recognition, it's much more convenient for modeling to use quad shapes rather than triangles. Thus, it's recommended to model in quad shapes whenever possible. Also, be cautious with n-gons, as they can cause issues during subdivision, UV mapping, or rigging. In UModeler X, you can modify these 3 elements and select each one using the icons provided. When you select an element, it's highlighted in the scene view, and options specific to that element appear in the inspector window. Modeling creation. Primitive shapes or drawing tools are related to creating shapes. You can create 3D shapes with primitive shapes and 2D shapes with drawing. Element selection. To select an element, click on the desired element in the scene view. You can select multiple elements by dragging over them, or deselect them by clicking in an empty space on the screen. You can also hold down the Shift key to add more elements to the selection, or hold down the Ctrl key while clicking to deselect elements. Alternatively, you can use options in the inspector for easier selection, such as Backface Select to select hidden faces, or Camera Base Select to select only visible parts. If you want to smooth the boundaries of selected elements, you can use the Soft Select option. The selection curve allows you to adjust the strength of the selection, and the range value adjusts the selection range. The selection menu at the bottom offers various selection methods, such as selecting all elements of an object or inverting the selection. Common functions like loop, ring, and border selection are also available for more precise selection. Besides these, you can double-click on an edge to select looping edges. Modeling involves editing shapes created from primitive shapes at the element level. When you select edges or faces and move them while holding down the Shift key, they are extruded based on the selected shape. Or you can delete elements by selecting them and pressing the Delete key. For more detailed editing, you can use the Add, Remove, and Deform tabs in the inspector. Let's take a look at the tools in the Add group. Select an element and choose Duplicate to create a copy of it. Select an element and press Bevel to round its edges. Connect creates an edge between 2 selected vertices or edges. Bridge connects 2 elements together, filling gaps or connecting separate edges. Subdivide divides faces, either partially or for the entire object. Be cautious with excessive subdivision, as it can affect performance and modeling convenience. Loop cut adds additional edges along the modeling surface for more details. Slice cut creates edges based on a line drawn on the object's surface. You can move or rotate the virtual plane directly, or click both endpoints to draw a virtual line segment to create a virtual plane. Split only cuts the mesh based on the virtual plane. Remove above deletes the parts below the virtual plane. Remove below deletes the parts above the virtual plane. Inset adds faces inside the selected face. Insert vertex allows you to add a vertex on an edge as desired. Now, let's explore the tools in the Remove group. Detach separates selected faces or elements. Holding the Alt key and clicking Detach allows you to choose the type. In 2-element mode, Detach will separate the face, but it will remain within the same object. In 2-object mode, Detach will create a new object in the hierarchy, and you will see that the selected face has been separated into this new object. Eraser deletes selected elements. You can also use the delete key for quick deletion. Target weld connects selected vertices to each other. Collapse merges selected elements into one. Note that this works only for connected groups. Merge combines selected vertices into one. Depending on the options, the merge can occur at different points between the selected vertices. Weld joins vertices within a specified distance of each other. Combine face merges selected faces into one. Note that this may not work well with heavily curved or n-gon shapes. The deform group includes brush-like tools for surface manipulation, rather than editing at the element level. Brush tools allow you to adjust the brush size by moving the mouse up or down while holding the Shift key or using shortcuts like. The Relax brush evens out vertex spacing while maintaining the shape. The Smooth brush softens shapes while maintaining vertex spacing. The Standard brush pushes surfaces outward. Pressing the Control key while brushing will cause the surface to go inward. The Flatten brush flattens surfaces. The Pinch brush brings vertices closer together, creating sharper edges. The Move brush moves vertices. Modifiers provide a non-destructive way to modify the original model. You can accumulate edits using the modifier stack or toggle specific modifiers on and off for editing. You can add modifiers with the plus icon, delete them with the minus icon, or merge them with the source mesh. Be cautious when merging, as it may make modifying the original mesh difficult. You can rearrange modifiers, rename them, or toggle their activation freely. The Bend modifier bends objects along a specified axis and angle. The Subdivide modifier smooths surfaces by subdividing faces. You can adjust the level of subdivision. The Shell modifier adds thickness to objects based on the source mesh. The Mirror modifier creates a mirrored object based on a specified axis. The FFD modifier provides a grid-based box for manipulating meshes. The vertices of the grid move along with nearby vertices of the source mesh. The Push modifier moves faces along or against their normals. The Decimate modifier reduces the polygon count of models. Be mindful of how it may alter the model's shape based on options. The Misc group contains miscellaneous tools. Reset Xform resets an object's transform values. Flip flips the normal direction of selected faces, affecting how they're displayed. Pivot changes the pivot point position of objects. There are also tools available when selecting multiple objects. The Multiple Object group provides options like Combine, Pivot, and Reset Xform for multiple selected objects. Combine merges selected objects into one. Pivot sets the pivot point for multiple objects simultaneously. Reset Xform resets transform values for multiple objects. Boolean performs Boolean operations on multiple objects, such as union, intersection, or subtraction. We have explored the modeling process for creating Zepeto items. Next time, we will discuss important considerations for creating Zepeto items.